The episode opens with the city under lockdown. News broadcasts declare a national emergency due to cyber terrorism. Ethan Ward's face appears on every screen, wanted for treason and espionage. He watches from the shadows of an abandoned subway station. The same face we've come to know, pale under flickering light, soaked in rain, but now hardened. He's no longer running out of fear, he's planning. In a corner of the station, members of the Veil gather around a table lit by a single bulb. They include Sarah Vaughn, a tech expert and former government employee; Noah Briggs, a former soldier dishonorably discharged for exposing abuse of power; and Ethan, now the reluctant symbol of their rebellion. They argue about strategy. Sarah says, "If we leak the files now, they'll call it fake." Noah slams his fist. "Then we make them believe, show the world their crimes live." Ethan stays quiet for a moment, then says, "We don't just expose them, we make them confess." Cut to the presidential palace. Elegant, silent, and cold. Inside, the president meets with his chief advisor, Richard Cole, a manipulative strategist. "And the data leak crippled our security network. Then we find him before he finds us." Meanwhile, Ethan and the Veil discover that the president's administration has been funding mercenaries to crush dissent abroad, using the nation's welfare funds as cover. It's bigger than corruption. It's blood money. They plan to infiltrate a government media tower to broadcast the files directly to the public. Sarah says, "We have one chance. Once we go live, they'll trace us in seconds." Ethan replies, "Then we'll make those seconds count." The scene cuts between two timelines, the team setting up their broadcast equipment and government agents closing in on their location. The tension rises as Noah wires explosives on the building's lower floor. "Just in case we need a distraction," he says. When everything's ready, Sarah hits the switch. The same one seen on wanted posters, now defiant, alive. His voice fills every home. "They called me a traitor because I asked for truth. But the real traitors are those who sell your future for power." The truth is no longer theirs to hide. Images and documents flash across screens. Ministers, generals, and foreign bank accounts. The entire nation watches in silence. At the palace, the president shouts, "Shut it down!" Cole replies, panicked, "We can't! They've bypassed every firewall!" Back at the tower, alarms blare. Soldiers storm the building. Noah detonates part of the entrance, buying a few more minutes. Slits tear through glass. The team scatters. Ethan grabs the final drive and runs toward the roof. Helicopter lights cut through the night. The wind howls. Soldiers climb the stairs behind him. He reaches the edge of the roof, rain whipping his face. He looks down. Sirens, fire, chaos. He raises the drive to the sky, whispering, "The truth lives." Then he jumps onto a lower rooftop, rolling hard but alive. The camera pans upward. Smoke, alarms, and flashes of light reflect in his eyes. Cut to black. The Broken Seat. Episode 3. The Web of Power. Episode 4. The Unseen Choice. Full version. The sky was a soft gray, the kind that never promised sun nor rain. Ethan stood by the riverbank, staring at his own reflection. The water rippled gently, breaking his face into pieces. Fragments of a man torn between guilt and survival. He hadn't slept in 2 days. The silence was heavy, but the questions in his mind were louder. Behind him, footsteps pressed into the damp earth. He didn't need to turn to know it was Mia. Her voice carried the same mix of worry and anger she'd held for weeks. "You can't keep running, Ethan." "Not from them, not from yourself." He exhaled sharply, his breath forming a ghost in the cold air. "If I stay, they'll find me. If I leave, you'll be the one they come for." Mia's eyes glistened with something between fear and love. She took a step closer. "Then let them come. I'm done living in the dark." Ethan finally faced her, tired eyes, unshaven jaw, the look of a man who'd seen too much and felt too little. "You don't understand. This isn't about me anymore." Before she could answer, a faint sound broke the moment. A car door slamming somewhere up the hill. Ethan's head snapped toward the sound. His pulse quickened. He pulled Mia behind a tree, motioning her to stay quiet. Through the branches, 2 black-coated men appeared at the top of the trail. One held a phone to his ear, the other scanned the area with calm precision. "They found us," Ethan whispered. Mia's hand trembled in his. "What do we do now?" He looked at her, and for a brief second, a plan formed behind his eyes. We disappear. That night, they found refuge in an abandoned cottage deep within the woods. The air was cold, but the silence was comforting. Ethan sat by the flickering candlelight, scribbling something in a worn notebook. Mia leaned against the wall, her eyes tracing the scars on his back. "You never told me what really happened that night," she said softly. "Because you'd hate me if I did. I already know what it's like to lose everything, Ethan. Try me." He looked up, his expression breaking for the first time. "They made me choose, Mia, between saving the people I loved or the truth that could destroy them. I picked wrong." The candle flickered hard, a small flame dancing as though it understood the weight of his confession. Before she could respond, a quiet thump came from outside. Then another Ethan stood, gun drawn. The door creaked open slowly and slid a folded paper under the gap. He waited for footsteps, but none came. The forest was dead quiet. He reached for the paper. Inside were 6 words, written in hurried ink. "They know what you did, Ethan." Mia covered her mouth in shock. "Who sent that?" Ethan looked toward the darkness outside, heart pounding. "Someone who shouldn't still be alive." Lightning flashed in the distance, lighting his face for a heartbeat, a mix of fear, guilt, and something darker. Determination. He blew out the candle and whispered, almost to himself, "It's starting again." And as the screen fades to black, the sound of the wind carries a faint echo, a whisper of someone calling his name from deep in the woods. The silence before the truth. The night was colder than usual. The streets were empty, quiet, too quiet for a city that never slept. He walked alone, the echo of his footsteps chasing him through the fog. Every light that flickered above felt like an eye watching. Every sound behind him felt like a whisper he couldn't escape. He reached the old apartment, the one he swore never to return to. The door creaked as if warning him not to enter, but he did. Inside, time had stopped, dust resting on broken memories, photographs half burned, and a letter still folded on the table. His heartbeat grew louder as he unfolded it. The handwriting was hers. The words were meant for him. "I forgive you," it began. But forgiveness was not what he came for. He came for answers, for the truth that had buried him alive for years. His fingers trembled as he read further, each line cutting deeper. She had known everything, every lie, every betrayal, yet she chose silence. A gust of wind slammed the window shut. He froze. Somewhere inside the room, something shifted. Not the wind, not the walls, something alive. A shadow crawled across the mirror behind him. Slowly he turned. His reflection didn't move. For a moment, time stopped again. The reflection stared back, calm, unblinking, lips curved into a smile he couldn't recognize. "You finally found it," the voice said softly, though his mouth never moved. The truth. Then came the sound, faint at first, like a hum deep beneath the city, growing, echoing, rising until it became a scream that tore through the silence. Lights shattered. The reflection stepped out, whispering in a tone too human to be real. "Now, let's finish what we started." Darkness swallowed the room. The city lights outside flickered once, twice, and went out. Somewhere in that darkness, his voice could be heard, whispering one last word, the name of the one he once loved. Silence followed, but this time, the silence wasn't empty. The episode opens with the city under lockdown.